What's up, everybody? This week I'm joined by Sarah as we talk about one of the greatest B-side and compilation albums ever released of all time, the Masterplan by Oasis. That and a whole lot more is to come on this week's edition of the 90s podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this week? It's Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for you to spend an hour or so listening to the ramblings of a couple of, well...
weird people.
A couple of weird people talk about some of their most favorite topics from a decade that started almost 35 years ago.
Shut your dirty little mouth.
I know. We're talking about the 90s podcast, and this week we're going to be joined by Sarah Connolly. Sarah, how are you?
I am good. How are you, dear?
I am doing well. It has been a little while since we had you on here. I want to tell you happy birthday, because it was your birthday since we've been on here last.
Thank you, and happy birthday to you as well.
Yes, it was my birthday on the 30th, and it was hers on the 31st.
Yes.
So we are... It saves a lot on birthday parties, I think.
Yes, it does.
We just have one and call it good. But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just working and chilling with you guys and all that good stuff. Yes. One of the things that Sarah has been doing is been locking herself in her office and reading a book called 12 Things to Do in 12 Hours or something like that. It's the 12-week year.
Oh, the 12-week year.
Yes, it's accomplishing more in 12 weeks than most people do in a year.
Is it working?
I don't know. I haven't started yet. I just got through the book. You're supposed to make a vision board to start off with because you have to have a connection with the vision. And I haven't... I'm working on the vision board now.
Gotcha. Because you said you have to have me look at that.
Yes.
Okay.
You're reading the book when I get done with the book.
Okay. You thought you were going to get me a copy because yours is all highlighted.
This is true, yes.
So, but that's enough banter.
Yes.
Witty banter, witty repartee.
Mm-hmm.
As you tell, I'm tired. It's been a long week.
It has. But we're here.
We're here, and we're here to talk about something we don't usually talk about. Not Oasis. We talk about them a lot.
We talk about Gallagher's a lot.
But we talked about this only once before, and that was when we talked about Nirvana, MTV Live in New York. We're talking about a compilation album.
Yes.
And we're talking the Masterplan by Oasis, widely regarded as one of the greatest compilation albums in the history of music when it comes to single band releases.
Yes.
So, greatest hits, B-sides and rarities, best ofs, and so on. This is considered top tier, elite level, godlike tier, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
So let's talk about why this is so importantly godlike. First of all, Sarah, why do you think it's importantly godlike?
The album itself?
The album itself. Why do you think it was an important type of album for the band?
Well, because Oasis were known for their B-sides.
Yes.
And Noel writes songs, or at least he still does, but he writes songs like nobody's business. He writes very good songs. But back then, he was churning them out rather quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He probably still does now, but he doesn't release them anywhere near like he did then. But back then, he'd go off for a weekend and come back with 30 songs. Like, here you go.
And they were all of good quality.
And then there wasn't really, even when he was in his Dr. Seuss, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish lyric stage, they were still good songs.
Yeah.
There are only a few that I would do without. But
Bonehead's Bank Holiday being one of them, of course.
No, actually, I love Bonehead's Bank Holiday, Butthead. But bumps. But no, Oasis were really at the time known for their B-sides. And while for you, they would have been easy to get a hold of, for over here, unless you were someone like me who used to...
It was deadly serious in music collecting.
Right, and lived in the import bin at the CD store, then you wouldn't know about most of these songs. So the first time I heard Talk Tonight was on Unplugged.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Let's
Same thing with Angel Child.
Let's go through with what led up to this point, okay? So we've spoken about the 3 studio albums so far, right? The story so far, album 1 is a worldwide phenomenal success. Album 2 eclipses every single thing that album 1 ever did, even though it wasn't as good as, in my humble opinion, and a lot of people's humble opinions. And then you come to album 3. Now, Be Here Now was, look, compared to Morning Glory and Definitely Maybe, it was a commercial and critical disappointment. There's no two ways of looking at it.
I mean, I liked it.
I mean, yeah, no, I liked it. I think it's great. I think it's their second best album, or third best, depending on which day of the week I'm thinking of. But when you sell 9 million copies, which is 13 million less than the album before, you know, and 6 million less than the album before that, and the critics are circling the ocean with you, it's not a good look.
Well, I mean, at that point, though, they were overexposed.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's... when you're overexposed and you put a song like Magic Pie on your album...
Yep.
I like Magic Pie. It's one of my favorites, actually. I like the One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Red Fish era. But when you're overexposed and you do that, you open yourself up to, you open
criticism.
To just a bunch of BS.
And I mean, the thing is, the reviews weren't... Okay, they weren't, like, really, really good, and then all of a sudden the music press turned on them and said that it was real bad or anything like that. Literally, it got mixed reviews. Some thought it was great, some thought it was bad. And that was reflected in the brothers. Noel Gallagher thought he'd swindled the audience into buying the album. And Liam Gallagher still thinks it's one of the greatest things he's ever done.
Right.
So, and that's a direct quote, by the way. He picked he was doing the Wembley shows back in 2000. They were interviewing the band, and he picked up Be Here Now. He said, I should have called this the greatest second rock and roll swindle ever. And threw it away. He does not like that album. So what they did is they went on a world tour, as you always do. A tour which you were part of. And
unfortunately, they didn't have the gigantic box.
They didn't have the set over here. It was just a plain old set. Aw.
I know, right?
Damn, that sucks.
It does suck.
But so they went. They went around the world, but the tour was considered a disappointment because of things like people pelting the band with missiles that almost got the show you went to cancelled.
Story time.
You don't have to tell the whole story, just the gig part.
Well, no, I'd be here a minute if I told the whole story, but let me back up by just a second. And okay, once upon a time, there was a young girl in Louisiana obsessed with all things Oasis. Now, she knew that the tour before, they had split up mid-tour and everybody went home. So when dates were announced for the new tour with the new album, she knew if she was going to see them, she needed to get to as early of a date as possible. So she begged and begged and begged and begged her mother, can I go to this particular show? Keep in mind, this girl was from Louisiana. She was 16 years old. About to be 17, but still 16 years old. And the show was in Virginia.
That's about...
Actually, close to D.C., in Fairfax, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C.
600 miles?
It's more than that. It's a bit.
It's about 800 miles away.
It's more than that.
Okay.
I mean, Dallas is 300 miles.
200. Just takes 3 hours.
No.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. It's a bit. It's a bit. Anyway. So, I had to go. Had to go. Begged. And back in the day, I had friends online. Back in the day, you could make friends online. And, it wasn't as weird then as it is now. So, I took a bus. Shenaniganery happened. Not getting into all that. From here to Pennsylvania. Stayed with a friend. Friend and I took a bus from Pennsylvania to Fairfax. More shenaniganery happened. Not getting into that. Got to the show. Show was amazing. Noel went to go do his set, and somebody threw something at him. Like, smacked him in the hand. I cried. I screamed. I wailed. It turns out I was only a couple rows behind Marcus Russell. So...
Marcus Russell, for those who don't know, is the longtime manager of Oasis.
Yes. So, you would think that would mean that, like awesomeness would happen. But no. Awesomeness in the effect that the show continued.
Yes.
So, that was really, I was happy with that. So, yeah. But people were flinging stuff on stage, and that sucked.
Which I don't understand. You pay all that money and you just start throwing coins at the performers.
That was stupid.
I don't get it. Somebody threw a shoe at Liam at one of the video gigs that they've got. Mm-hmm. He's like, why are you throwing a big boot on stage, man? I don't condone people throwing things on stage.
No, and the Noel did an interview where he had a quote like that, like where somebody had taken off their shoe and flung it on stage. He's like, I don't understand why somebody would reach down and take off their shoe and fling it at somebody on stage. And weren't we talking about another band that somebody threw?
Okay, legend has it, right, that at the Reading Festival a few years ago, there was a band called Daphne and Celeste that got, and I'm sorry to put this visual in your head. I'll wait for her to stop laughing.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
Okay.
They got bottled off stage. Now that's different from being bottled off stage. Because the bottles were filled with something, right? They got bottled off stage.
Well, it's sort of what's written on the tin, dear.
Yeah. Well, what else happened was apparently a wheelchair came flying onto the stage too, without the person.
Been so bad.
You let somebody fling your wheelchair on stage.
I can't.
We're going to keep this going because I need some payback from the Lion King episode. So while Sarah catches a breath, other things that happened on the tour, Liam's voice didn't hold up, so Noel had to play frontman in Australia, in Ireland, and in America.
Right.
That's where the Girl in the Dirty Shirt came out.
Yes.
I mean, like, they brought it out for the gigs and everything like that. Noel and Bonehead got into lots of drunken arguments, which caused Noel's relationship with Gwigsy to...
Yes.
kind of fritter away too.
Yes.
And Liam Gallagher was also banned from Cathay Pacific, threatening to kill a pilot.
Do you know, if I had not been so I must see them now, I could have caught them opening for U2 that same year in freaking Houston.
That would have been a show.
That would have been a show. I saw U2 in Dallas the same year for the Pop Mart. And it was that tour that Oasis opened for them. Or they doubled it. They double headlined.
See, that was before U2 became overly pretentious.
Oh no, they were still pretentious. They came out of a gigantic freaking lemon, John.
Overly pretentious.
Okay,
I said overly pretentious.
John, I bought a packet of condoms with Bono's face on them. They stepped out of a gigantic lemon. I'm telling you. Pretentious? Yeah.
But not overly pretentious. No, I'm just kidding. But things weren't going bad on the drug side of things either for Oasis. Everybody was in the throes of severe cocaine addiction.
Right, bagging.
Except Alan White, who never touched the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He would quit cold turkey and write 5 songs for the next album.
Yes.
But as the next album was being talked about, the band were being criticized in the music press for wasting so many good songs as these B-sides.
Right.
So, the record label, Creation Records and Epic Records, got together and said, we're going to release an album of these B-sides so that people can hear them because they're really, really good.
Right. Noel wasn't happy about that.
No, he only wanted it to be available to anybody who did not live in Britain.
Right.
And so to American, Japanese, German audiences, the big audiences.
Right.
So when he was told, no, this is going to be released everywhere, he demanded to choose the track listing, and with the help of like one of the earliest instances of internet polls and stuff like that in 1998, he, along with the fans, decided on what the track listing would be for this album.
Yes, but it was the British fans. He wanted it for the worldwide fans, not the British fans, but only the British fans got to vote.
I think that was a good idea, and let me explain why. The British fans would be more familiar with the songs.
You may have a point.
If
but
you guys don't know what the songs are, how can you vote on them?
I knew, and I was pretty butthurt over it at the time. But go ahead.
Let's talk about this movie that we've never seen before.
Shush you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened is the band were burnt out.
Yes.
They'd been touring non-stop for 5 years.
Well, it wasn't completely non-stop. He did make that big break where he, like... If it had been non-stop, I would not have booked the first...
Okay, let me rephrase that. They'd been touring and or recording non-stop for 5 years.
Okay.
Because the minute that tour in 96 ended when everybody got off the plane, they instantly went to Abbey Road.
Yes. To
record Be Here Now. So, you know... so they wanted a break, so they released the Masterplan as a way to break it up. Now, we have mentioned several times this magical word, B-side. Now, people our age are going to be familiar with what a B-side is. People from Europe are going to be familiar with what a B-side is. But for those of you who are not familiar with what a B-side is...
God, do our children know what a B-side is?
I don't think our children know what an LP is.
Oh... Or an EOP.
They know what vinyl is, but if I said LP, they'd go, is that in Fortnite?
It's a skin.
Right.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. For those of you who don't know, back in the day, singles were released on vinyl. And the single, the actual song that was being released, went on the A side, and the B side, because vinyl was two-sided, you had to put a bonus track. Or people put a bonus track because it would be stupid to have the same song on both sides.
Yeah.
So they would have a bonus track or a remix or something along those lines.
If you ever hear the term double A side,
yes,
that means that they released two songs at once.
Yes.
One on each side.
Right.
I think the Beatles did that all the time.
Oh, yeah, they were the Beatles, though.
Yeah, of course.
Well, they did that here because they released so much stuff over there. There are plenty of Beatles B-sides or whatnot that we didn't get here until, like, the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, I can see it.
Because over here, it was all double A-sides.
True. I mean, you know, but that was up until, like, the 70s.
Yeah. We're going to...
Then cassettes came out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so...
And again, they're two-sided.
Format didn't change really that much. Still had A-side, still had B-side.
Right.
Then CDs came out. And that's
we're
when...
We're in trouble.
That's right. Because that's when it changed, stupendously changed.
Well, yeah, there's only one side. You don't flip over a CD.
Well, you can, but usually those are sold out of somebody's... backseat of someone's car.
Yeah.
I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, go back to CDs.
Yes.
CDs could have up to 76 minutes of music on them, right?
We pushed that crap to the limit back in the day, but go ahead.
Be Here Now pushed it back to pushed it to the limit. So what I don't know what the rules were around the world, but in Britain you could have up to 4 tracks on a CD for it to be called a single.
Right.
That was cut back to 3 tracks, I think, in 2000, because anything more would be labeled as an EP.
Right.
And that was just done for, chart positions, because in Britain charts were done on sales only. Now I know over here they were done on sales and record plays, and single culture wasn't as big of a deal over here as it was in the UK.
Right.
So so when CDs came out, you had up to 4 tracks. So what Noel Gallagher would do was take 4 songs,
because remember he was cranking these out like freaking candy.
Yeah, and boom, 4 tracks. Here's a song.
And they were all good.
I mean, and that's the other thing too. They had only 1 instrumental and 3 covers.
Yeah, they weren't, and a lot of people put covers for their B-sides.
Covers and remixes and instrumental tracks and demos.
Right.
Oasis, for those first 4, 8, 9, 12. Yeah. For those first 12 singles, they put nothing but extra material on them.
But I gotta say, an Oasis demo could be a whole freaking song.
Yeah.
They were that good.
Yeah. I mean, they got bootlegged their original demo tape, and people...
The Sotsogs?
No, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
The original demo tape, with like with the original, stuff that they'd written back in the 80s and stuff like that.
Stuff, yeah.
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 And that didn't make any thing. They're talking about songs like Alive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that song,
all the
by the way.
good stuff, yeah.
So that's what an A-side is. Now what people would do was, there were bands like Oasis, there were bands like the Smiths, there were bands like the Stone Roses. they were known as much for their B-sides as their A-sides because they didn't write a song specifically to be an A-side, an album track, and a B-side.
They just wrote songs.
They just wrote songs, and then
usually the record label would go yay, nay, da.
Unless you're your own creation.
Yes.
In which the ethos was the artist is always right, which was probably dumb for them in a lot of cases. But other people, like comedians, would use B-sides to release stand-up material that was banned from the radio.
Okay.
So, George Carlin's 7 Words You Can't Say on TV bit would probably have been a B-side in the UK.
Yes.
And the A-side would have been something a little bit tamer, like his Al Sleet, the hippy-dippy weatherman, giving you all the hippy-dippy weather, man.
Right.
Right. So that's what a B-side is. A B-side is an alternate track that was released on a single CD, or a single cassette, or a single vinyl. We go in track by track. Now, it's very, very interesting because it's B-sides. This is not a completely Liam sung album.
Right.
So a lot of these songs are sung by Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher too. Now, all the songs, as we preface with every single album that we talk about, either interviews given by the songwriter or the fan theory or both. So all these tracks, with the exception of one, was written by Noel Gallagher.
Yep.
One was written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Yes.
Which we'll get to here in a few minutes. So let's start off with Aqueous. Aqueous was a B-side to Some Might Say. It came out in 1995. And it was the first time that both brothers had actually shared vocal on a track.
Right.
Wouldn't be the last. They do it a couple more times during their career. But it's got a sample in a Morning Glory before it gets started, before anybody knew what Morning Glory was.
All right.
And it was seen as a song about the unbreakable bond between the brothers.
See, what happened was...
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Irish families will fight, but there's still a bond between them. But now that's like, no.
Sometimes.
Trust me, I say that from experience.
Right.
Come from an Irish family myself.
Right.
This song right here, what do you think of it?
It's a nice song.
Yeah.
It's not one of my all-time... It means more to other people than it means to me. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. It's just... it's a nice song. I mean, I'll sing along with it. And if it's on, I won't change it. But I won't flip through to find it.
You're a hipster when it comes to Oasis' music.
Am I, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday says otherwise. I love this song. I really, really do. This song was played on every tour that they ever did. Sometimes starting the show, sometimes ending the show. Now, that's the weird part about it, right? You've got this B-side opening up a show,
right? That
most people don't know what the heck this song is, and they can sing it, or closing a show, and not many people knew what this song was until obviously this album came out. This led to like a big fight between the record label and Noel Gallagher, who's like, we talked about double A-sides earlier. This is like, no, this is a double A-side. You can't relegate this song to a B-side. You have to put it as a double A-side. It has to go on the album. And he said, no, I wrote this song by accident on a train. I can't be bothered to write anything else. We're just going to leave it as it is.
Right.
Of course, a decision he looks back on and thinks, well, crap. But, this song has been released as a single twice, believe it or not.
Okay.
Once in 99 as a live single for the Be Here Now tour, and another time in 2006 in Japan, where they did a music video with the Japanese, official Oasis Japanese cover band.
Okay, you know what? I love Noel for this. He has always, with the exception of one, loved their tribute bands.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of one.
Which one?
Guess.
The one?
Huh?
No Oasis?
No. He loved Oasis.
Maroon 5.
Yes. He loved all of their tribute bands except for Maroon 5. So I remember when somebody told me they started off as an Oasis tribute band. He said they should have stayed that way. But no, he's like, with No Oasis, he went and to make sure that they could get the sound right, bought them all the same gear that he had. Like, wow. Yeah, like he went and got the orange stacks and all that good stuff. And I mean, and the same pedals and whatever. And so he's always been really, really generous with that. So,
oh, that's the other thing too. You know, it's this was a Japanese cover band who performed the band as a thing, and they copied the video style off an REM video, which I didn't realize they liked REM.
Everybody likes REM.
Everybody likes REM, but everybody, I don't know. I never pictured Oasis liking REM.
Everybody likes REM. Name me one person who doesn't like at least one REM song.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
It's somebody 35 and above who would know who they are, which is horrible for me to say.
No, that is sad.
Yeah.
You know, but then REM have been out forever, though. And they've been out of the game forever, too.
That's what I'm saying, 35 and up.
Yeah. No, maybe a bit younger than that. Maybe
32.
30.
32. What say you all? How old? Drop us your answers.
Drop us your answer on a postcard to sconnolly318 on the Twitter machine. But no, I think this is a good song. Great way to open.
Yes.
Laid the cards down.
Yes.
And all stuff like that.
Yes.
Next song is another song that was written by accident.
I like this one.
It's called Underneath the Sky. I like it too.
Yes.
So at the beginning, it sounds like you've got an amplifier in a jar of water.
Yes.
Just to make that sound. It wasn't on a wah-wah pedal. It was a really weird guitar sound. I had no idea how they did it. This was actually written on what was supposed to be the last day of recording What's the Story Morning Glory's sessions.
Yes.
And
he was still in the red one fish, two fish stage.
Prolific stage 2.
Yes.
Sorry, I almost butchered that word. So they extended the session by 2 more days to write...
Should I just call it Hisusical the Musical stage?
Hisusical the Musical. You can. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it.
Hisusical the Musical.
Hisusical the Musical. The session was extended 2 more days due to that he wrote it. He wrote a couple more songs, which are also B-sides.
Yes.
That didn't feature on this album. A song called Step Out and a song called Round Our Way.
Ah, yes.
Have you actually heard Liam sing Step Out?
No.
There's a clip going around of him doing vocals for it.
Oh.
And it doesn't come off well.
Oh. There
but
we
the
go.
song's bad anyway.
Yes.
Liam's vocals on this track are some of his best that he ever did in any song. Like, any song that he's ever done for Oasis, is some of his best.
Yeah.
Not Noel's lyrics, Liam's vocals.
Yes.
Sorry, I heard you humming it.
Yeah, you're good. No, I know what you meant.
Okay. And it was lyrically a little wonky, even for the Dr. Seuss phase.
A little bit. But, I mean, it wasn't as bad as some.
No, it wasn't. No. But, you know, this is only one of 2 songs that has never been played live by the band.
Really?
On this album.
Really?
Yes.
I'll be damned.
Which is weird when you think about it, because every other song on this album has been played at least once live.
Or to death.
Or to death. We'll come to the one that's been played to death here in a little while. But another song that Alan Lee thought belonged on Morning Glory, and it's another song that I thought belonged on Morning Glory.
Yes.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. You take off the first two of the first 5 tracks, or 3 of the first 5 tracks off that album, and replace them with 3 of these, and you've got a better album.
I'm of the opinion that Morning Glory needs to stand exactly where it stands. Well, nothing needs replaced.
But you like that album more than most people.
I mean, it's one of their biggest selling albums. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people like it too.
Oh, yeah. In the words of Noel Gallagher, Phil Collins sold a lot of records.
Now...
No, I'm being nice. I'm trying to be nice.
The next one, Talk Tonight, is one of my favorites.
You wear black today. Would you like a tanner?
But no, it is one of my favorites. It was the A-side that it was released with was Some Might Say. In September of '94, Oasis played a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go on the Sunset Strip. The gig was a disaster, and the fans of the band were extremely unhappy with the performance.
That's because everyone was on meth. let's not sugarcoat it. They decided that was going to be the night they would try meth at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Yes, and this was also part of the tour where he went bye-bye.
Yes.
Yes.
The first time.
Yes.
Because they had 3 American tours where he went bye-bye. I was at 2 American tours.
2, but it was after this one and whatnot that I was like, I need to get the tickets. So, yes. But, he bounced to San Fran. So, where he met up with Melissa Lim, who was a fan who he had met a few weeks prior.
Yes.
So.
And Melissa Lim said in the San Francisco Chronicle in 2006, and I quote, "He was very upset. I took him in, fed him, tried to calm him down. He wanted to break up the band. We went to Huntington Park to clear his mind. We listened to music, went record shopping. San Francisco has a reputation of being a place where bands come to die. Like the band and the Sex Pistols. I wasn't going to let that happen on my watch. I told him, you can't leave the band. You're on the verge of something big."
Yes.
Now, Noel doesn't remember the fan's name, but he remembers even to this day, he remembers the experience. He just can't remember the name doesn't...
Drugs.
Well, yeah. They
Lots and lots of drugs.
Lots and lots of cocaine, and in this instance, meth.
Yes. So, yeah. But for all of you Americans out there, one thing of Lim's that did stick into the meth-soaked mind of Noel Gallagher at the time was her love of Snapple.
Yes.
And for those of us in the 90s who loved Snapple, one of the best flavors was strawberry lemonade.
All your dreams are made.
Yes.
You want to know an irony of that? There was a Snapple-like drink released in the UK around about that time. You know what the drink was called? The drink was called Oasis.
But
No, I'm not making that up. There was a... Now that I've been here long enough and I've seen enough Snapple, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and making at least 4.5 that it's the same drink.
Right.
But yeah, this song, man, I love this song. I didn't used to like it, but I came around. There was a radio session. This is my hipster moment. There's a radio session they were doing in 2000, just after they released that song, and that's the radio session that they were told that they'd have to play either another Beatles cover.
Right.
They made a bet they made a bet with the station that if they put a poll up, they'd play a song live for the tour.
All right.
And the 3 songs were another Beatles cover. My Generation, and Angels by Robbie Williams. And this was at the time where the big feud was just starting. Now, it was apparently voted on by the sarcastic wing of the British populace was apparently asleep that night, and they played My Generation instead.
Right.
But in this session, they played Go Let It Out.
Yes.
And an electric version of Talk Tonight. And it sounds very, very, very good.
Again, as I was saying earlier, my first introduction to Talk Tonight was from the Unplugged show.
Yeah, when Oasis did MTV Unplugged.
Yes. And I remember sitting on my couch, and the couch was across the room. The left seat was sort of like at my mom's house, was sort of next to the entertainment center in the corner. And I remember like sitting on the end of it, like right up against the TV. Like I couldn't get any closer if I tried. And I was just listening, and like my mouth just fell open, and I just cried. Because it was just so pretty.
It was. And again, you hadn't heard that song before.
No, I hadn't. So.
How did you feel about Round Our Way? I'm just joking with you.
It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice. The horns were good.
I love that song. But this song still lives today.
Yes.
Noel plays it on his solo sets.
Yes.
Because it's a really, really good song.
Yes, it is.
So, but a song that went nowhere.
But bumps.
See, I still got the puns. Going nowhere. Oh my god, we could sit here all day and I could tell you exactly why I don't like it, note for note. This is the other song that they never played live.
I like this one.
I know you do, because it's very, very Bacharackian.
Yes. Well, you have to understand that Noel was obsessed with Bacharach at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's Lennon McCartney Stone Roses, The Jam, and Bacharach were his musical influences.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had done that version of This Guy's in Love with You at the Bacharach tribute thing with Bacharach, which was awesome. But, I mean, literally, there was like a 6 or 8 month period where Noel was all the news, you know, like and not like the news, but like, you know, the TMZ at the time type news,
Paparazzi.
you know, sort of, not paparazzi, but you know, the tabloidy stuff. Yeah, was that year. I remember he gave Kate Moss a limited edition Bacharach compilation album thing for her birthday. He was caught singing This Guy's in Love with You to Meg, who was they weren't married just yet at the time.
Who would become his wife.
Yeah. So he was like, everything. There was like a 6 or 8 month period where he was like, you would hear Noel and you'd hear Burt Bacharach, which was really freaking weird for anybody who didn't know who the hell Burt Bacharach was.
It was the Snoop Dogg Martha Stewart of that day. Well, this was written. Yeah, but this was written though before even The Rain was formed.
Right.
I mean, this was written back in '89.
Right.
And it was finally recorded in 96, 97. I mean, it's a good song. It bores me a little bit. It just doesn't go anywhere. No pun intended with the name going nowhere. It just it's too Bacharachian for its own good.
Bacharachian?
Yes.
That's my new song. That's my new favorite word.
For a rock band.
Yes. But I will note, and I see kind of where you went with it, but you have a note here that the song has a full orchestral arrangement similar to All Around the World. No, All Around the World is annoying. This one's not. This one's all nice and you know, you can jam, and it's very 60s Spectre Bacharachian-esque, whereas All Around the World is just annoying.
All Around the World is the sound of 5 people in a studio on coke not giving a damn.
This pretty much, yes. And
I
somebody's got a trumpet.
Yes. I like All Around the World.
I know you do. I know.
I like the let me rephrase that. I like the song All Around the World, not the arrangement.
Yeah.
So, but not going nowhere is all right.
Yeah.
You know, but a song that we have different views on, severely different views. Fade Away.
I like Fade Away.
I do too. I'll go looking for it though.
Yeah, I mean, we quote it, or actually, we quote the. Is that the vibe?
You know it.
You know it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with that, right? Fade Away. It's a song that is very, very energetic and uplifting with some of his most depressing lyrics he's ever written in his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what the dreams we had of children fade away. It's like, how are you supposed to get up and but it's played on like a punk style, you know. It's really, really good. It's one of the earliest songs that was ever written, and until the Be Here Now tour, it was on they played it every gig. They played it to death.
Mm-hmm.
It was bumped off Definitely Maybe,
right.
Slide Away,
right.
when they have Digsy's Dinner and Sad Song that they could have gotten away with.
Mm-mm.
Oh. But what we quote is the 1995 version that they did. That wasn't a B-side, but it was on the War Child album.
Yes.
And it was an acoustic version where Noel and Liam switched vocals so that Liam was doing backing vocals, which he should never do ever again.
That's not the one.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I bet you 5 English
It had
pounds.
What's Her Face on it.
That was at the end.
No, she did backing vocals on
So
it.
did Liam, though.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't recall that.
I'll play it for you off the air.
No, hang on.
Pause because we don't get it. Let me pull it up.
Okay. Yes. But mainly it was Lisa Moorish.
Well, yeah, she did the end backing vocals in the last bit when they were fading out. But I'm talking about during the actual meat and potatoes part of the song, the choruses and the verses. they switched vocal
I had
arrangements.
forgotten that Depp played guitar and Kate Moss did tambourine, though.
Well, they were that close back
I know.
then.
Well, that's because Meg and Kate were besties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, excuse me. But anyway,
Gonna fade away.
now the thing is the arrangement that's originally on the B-side doesn't get played anymore.
No.
But the acoustic version is still played to this day
Yes.
with Noel's High Flying Bird shows, and in fact, Oasis performed a few shows with that arrangement as well. So
Cool beans.
I think it's a good song. I think Slide Away is a better song, which is probably why it got bumped off. But it's a real energetic, depressing song.
Yes.
Which is unusual.
Yes.
So.
Noel was great at that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be sad as a mofo, but still just bouncing up and like, yeah.
Dream it while you can. Maybe someday you'll understand.
Yeah. It's
but,
so sad, but I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we come up to the first instrumental that Oasis ever did.
I hate this song.
Really?
Oh my God.
Explain to me how you hate this song, baby.
Well, okay. First of all, being from Louisiana, I had a natural aversion to it just by the name, the Swamp Song, really. And so, yeah. But I couldn't, it was, to me, it just, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
It's just there. It's an instrumental.
Yeah, but even, and I'm not opposed to instrumentals. I actually like Effin' in the Bushes. But the Swamp Song, I like Teoda Walkin'. The Swamp Song, it just annoys me.
Do you know how this song actually came about? Or why it came about?
Hit me.
Okay, I swear I'm not making this up.
Mm-hmm.
But what is my job? I'm a sound engineer.
Yes.
Occasionally, I do live sound.
Yes.
What is the most important thing a sound engineer needs? The most important thing. Their ears. Working 100%. This was around about the time when Mark Coyle's ears were going out. So he couldn't set up the band properly in regular sound checking, so they wrote an instrumental specifically for him so that they could be jamming and he can get those last minute tweaks in before, while his ears were still good to go. And no, I'm not making that up. I wish I was making that up, but that's my excuse right now. If I make a mistake and my ears are going out.
Yeah.
But the drumming on this song is actually done at Glastonbury.
Fabulous.
Noel thought that Alan White's drumming performance on his second ever show, by the way, was good enough. They didn't need to record something. It was the perfect tempo, it was the perfect sound. They didn't need to re-record it. So they brought Paul Weller in to play harmonica and guitar.
Yeah.
And so now, if you're ever wondering what those instrumental pieces are on What's the Story Morning Glory, just those two random instrumental slots, it's clips of the Swamp Song.
Yes.
So I like it. I think it was a good instrumental. It was a good way to start gigs too, because it got the crowd worked up and gave Liam a chance to kind of saunter on stage,
Drink his gin.
Get a drink down him, yell mad frick for the crowd, and
shake the tambourine,
eyeball his brother.
Yeah, as one does.
As one does. Well, let me ask you a question. Are you an Eggman?
Goo-goo-goo-joo.
That was the next song on this album. I Am the Walrus. So, do you know who did I Am the Walrus originally?
Do I know?
Do you know?
Do I know?
I know you know. Who did I Am the Walrus originally?
The Walrus was Paul.
Walrus was Paul.
And the Seethers Louise. A whole nother thing. No, it was the Beatles.
The Beatles, I Am the Walrus. Yeah, they did a cover version of this. Do you know why they started doing a cover version of this? Okay.
I have a feeling it has to do with something with Man City and Liverpool.
Well, kind of, right? The Beatles never played it live because by the time they wrote it, they'd stopped doing live shows.
Yeah, they stopped live at Shea Stadium.
Yeah. So everybody was comparing them to this knockoff Beatles band. So it's like, screw it, we're gonna play I Am the Walrus in Liverpool.
Yes.
Because why not?
Yes.
And ever since then, it's stuck. So, the next time, basically they would claim one night to be a Beatles rip-off of this venue. The next time they came back, they belted out Am the Walrus.
Yes.
Now, it was claimed that it was recorded at the Glasgow Cat House, but it wasn't. It was recorded at a corporate event.
Ew.
Yeah, for the suits in the label. That's why at the beginning it's like, look, do you mind if it's out of tune? That wasn't them going to the crowd, because they wouldn't have given a crap to the crowd. It's like,
right.
Are you guys okay? It was basically a performance done on Sony's dime with bottles of Sony financed gin.
Well, there you go.
Yes. The cheering at the beginning and the end of the track, because it wasn't taken from a gig, is actually from a Small Faces bootleg that engineer Mark Coyle owned. So that cheering is for a different band altogether.
Of course it is.
Now, you want to know the irony of them performing this song? And putting it as a B-side on their B-side compilation? The song originally was a B-side itself.
Inception.
Yes.
Or Binception.
I don't know. But this track was basically the ender of every Oasis show.
Yes.
To the point where a lot of people in the British music press consider this now more an Oasis song than a Beatles song.
Yes.
It was an Oasis song written by the Beatles.
Yes.
Is I guess the best way they can describe it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yes.
I love this song. I really do. I don't know why it was not on any of the albums, but
it was a good one.
This is Listen Up.
Yes.
One of Liam Gallagher's favourite songs, one of Noel Gallagher's favourite songs.
Yes.
Played many a time on High Flying Birds and Noel solo sets and stuff like that. Always only played it 3 times live.
Really?
3 times.
Huh.
They played it once in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Where the bass player messed it up. What's his name? Not Quigsy. Not Quigsy. The guy who replaced him for a couple of months.
Oh, Scott?
Scott McLeod, yes. Yeah. Scott couldn't get it right. Then when they tried playing it in the UK, strangely enough, Alan White couldn't get it right. Which is kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Because Alan White is a fantastic drummer. He only knew how to play one style, but he's a fantastic drummer.
Right.
It's kind of like a hybrid jazz rock type deal. And then once at MTV Unplugged. That was never aired.
So say I don't remember that one,
but it does exist.
Yeah, that's right. It was on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got Live Forever and Supersonic.
Yes.
Played at the very, very beginning, and then I describe the song as defiant, not F the police, but like
I want to see my crime. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be.
And
yeah,
I'll do what I want when I want to do it, how I want to do it. I'll live my life the way I want to be. It's defiant and euphoric.
Yes.
The chorus is. The guitar solo is really long though.
Yeah, it is.
It's really long for the same guitar solo.
Yes. Yes.
So they cut it in half for this version of the album. Liam Gallagher wonders why they never played it more, and actually wanted this song included on their, not their greatest hits, but their best of compilation that they did. So
interesting
indeed. Possibly one of the most underrated songs they ever did.
Possibly, yes. The next one though is one of my favorites, Rocking Chair.
Definitely the most underrated song they ever did.
Okay, so side story time. Okay, so I used to be like obsessed with this song.
Yeah.
Or the single. I had the single and the Roll With It single on my CD changer. For those of you back in the day who weren't around back in the day, if you were ballin', which I wasn't when they first came out, but towards the end of the 90s when everybody else had them, then I got one. But your CD player, your home stereo, you could load more than one CD at a time. And then you could just put it like on random and really weird stuff happened. But for some reason, when I put it on random, it really loved to play Rocking Chair. And this story will make no sense to anybody but you, dear, and you're probably going to cut this out. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So Uncle Jerry was at the house, my mom's younger brother, he was repairing something in my room. So something was broken and he was repairing it. And the song is playing and I'm not thinking anything of it and I'm just singing along. And like for some reason it like the song played like twice or 3 times in like a 30-minute period. And finally he just like, I'm sorry, do you want me to turn this down? Is this bothering you? He's like, no, but if that boy tells me I'm rude one more time, I don't care for your attitude.
You bring me down.
I think you're rude.
Yes.
He's like, that boy tells me I'm rude one more time. So, sorry.
We need more Uncle Jerry stories.
Yes, I know. But, no.
Probably the oldest song that's on this album. Predaton Going Nowhere, which was written in 89.
Yeah. And I really, really love this song. I do.
I do too. It was one of the. It's actually a rarity for Oasis. Mm-hmm. It's an entire acoustic arrangement.
All right. There's no strings, brass, full guitar solo, anything like that.
For an Oasis acoustic arrangement, you needed all that stuff and everything like that.
And all that jazz.
Liam sings it.
Yes.
Acoustic arrangement and an acoustic guitar solo.
It's like the trifecta of what?
Yeah. It's like, who are you? Where's an old Gallagher gone? But I don't know. I think it's a really, really good song. I really do. I think that arrangement issues caused it not to be played live as often as it probably should have.
Right.
And I think that this is possibly the most underrated song that they ever did.
Yeah, I agree.
A song that they now play to death, however, is Half the World Away.
Yes.
I love this song. It is possibly
it's a good one.
top 5 Oasis songs.
It's another one of those I won't necessarily seek it, but I won't change it.
Okay. Well, nobody asked your opinion. No, I'm just kidding.
I believe you did. Okay.
No, I say that because out of defense of this song, I love this song real. There was a TV show, right, called The Royal Family that used it as its theme song. And a lot of working class people, working class families identified with that show so much. Now, you've seen it.
Yes.
You've seen my parents.
Yes.
You can see why I would kind of gravitate towards the show and the song.
You wear polo shirts.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was recorded at the same time as Talk Tonight was.
Yes.
So this was during the Strawberry Lemonade meth-fueled era.
Yes.
Lyrics about leaving home and wanting to grow as a person. Well, you did leave home and you didn't grow. Inspired.
Did you say you didn't grow? You said you did leave home and you didn't grow. Is that
and
what
you did grow?
I thought you said you did leave home and you didn't grow. I was like, damn.
He's still 5'6", Sarah.
He's shorter than that.
He's apparently there was.
No, he might be 5'6".
He's 5'6".
I mean, if you put him in what's his face,
it was Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics. They stood on
together, they made 5'8", right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, the 90s, y'all.
But guess who?
Your mama.
This song rips off.
Who?
If you flip this backwards,
Yeah.
If you flip the chords backwards of this song, it is an identical copy of This Guy's in Love with You by
Burt Bacharach.
But Oasis only played this live for a short period of time, and they played it with an electric arrangement.
Yeah.
I think it was done at one of their best shows, and it's a real good version of it.
Yeah.
All electric. You can't hear the clapping, that you need to hear. Yeah. But Alan White covers that with his kick drum. But Noel plays this on his solo tours to this day.
Very cool.
Ironically, I mentioned the Royal Family. One of the actors in the Royal Family is Craig Cash.
Ah.
Craig Cash is the fraternal cousin of one Paul Bonehead Arthurs, aka Bonehead, the original rhythm guitarist of Oasis, who played all these songs.
Yes.
So, Paul Weller says that this is his favorite Oasis song, to which Noel Gallagher said, and I quote, "Of course it fucking is." I would.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to take this one?
The next one is It's Good to Be Free. It was an A-side to Whatever, which was released in 94. It's got a ton of feedback when it cranks out and a lot of loud guitars. I said lard guitars. Loud guitars. And ends with an accordion ditty by Bonehead.
Yes.
Because more songs should end
with Captain Hogwash.
With an accordion ditty by Bonehead. And if I'm not mistaken, this is due to the studio setup when recording. They couldn't get it correct that day.
No, their setup was all wrong. That's why all the feedback was coming in. And it sounds like they're having a good time, but they were really, really pissed off at everything. And that's why the accordion came out.
Yes. But this, again, this was in the Seussical the musical phase.
Yes.
And now the lyrics are, yeah.
Now, here's the question that I've always wanted to know, right? Oasis released a DVD, a VHS, back in 1995.
Laserdisc.
Right? Betamax.
Okay, wasn't that bad?
No, but they released
wasn't there a Laserdisc released?
That was of the second, whose name escapes me right now. If you hadn't asked me, I would have been able to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, there's a lyric in this one saying, "All I want to do is live by the sea." And they released a CD called Live by the Sea.
Yeah.
But I want to know, is it Live by the Sea? Because they're spelled exactly the same way. Oh, what was
the things that keep you up at night?
What was the second video called?
Was There Then?
There
and Then.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There and Then. Yeah. Okay. I had that one.
I had that one
Not
too.
on Laserdisc.
I had that one too. Cassette taped off the TV, thank you very much.
Oh.
VH1 Oasis weekend, yo, 1999. Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
my gosh.
I wrote in my notes here, you mentioned Dr. Seuss. It says Dr. Seuss indeed.
Yes. The next one is Hey, Stay Young.
I love this song.
Yes, so do I. It's an A-side, the A-side for the song was, Do You Know What I Mean?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was originally written for the Be Here Now album and was bumped from Magic Pie.
Which says more about that album than now that you could ever possibly say.
But I like Magic Pie. Also like Stay Young.
Stay Young's a better song.
I'll give you that. It's very, very few times I'll do that, but no, I'll give you that one. Noel doesn't think so.
No, he doesn't, and that's what drugs will do to you kids.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he thinks it's like the She's Electric or Digsy's Dinner of the whole entire album session.
Yeah, which is dumb because the song Be Here Now is the Digsy's Dinner and She's Electric of that session.
Or maybe Magic Pie was.
All right. He just likes the lyrics, he hits the arrangement, He hits Liam's vocal, he hits his own backup, which, come on, it's a good song. And not only that, you listen to the fans love it.
Yeah.
And he did kind of, what's the word, compromise. It's like, all right, I hate this song, but we're going to put it on the set list anyway.
Well, yeah, because it's one of those, the whole crowd bounces.
Yeah.
You get the wave of the crowd where they're like, yeah.
And this is another Defiant song.
Yeah.
Hey, Stay Young and Invincible, because we know just what you are.
Mm-hmm. What we are.
Hey, come what may, my faith's unshakable.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems weird saying those lyrics without trying to sing them in my head. But I think that Stay Young should have been on the Be Here Now album. Either for Magic Pie or for Be Here Now.
No, I like Be Here Now. So as much as I love my Magic Pie, it could have gone there.
And that would have been a better B-side anyway.
Yeah.
Just like Cigarettes in Hell.
I like Cigarettes in Hell. I like Cigarettes in Louisiana too. But that's also Cigarettes in Hell. So there you go.
There you go.
The next is Head Shrinker, which was on the Some Might Say single from 95. This one is not one of my favorites.
No?
No.
It's not Oasis. It's Oasis playing punk music.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
It's like Bring It On Down.
And it's got McCarroll on it. And McCarroll, okay.
McCarroll's a punk drummer. Let's be real about this. He's a punk drummer. You put a punky type song in front of him and he can pull it off to the nth degree. You put a normal rock
and a
song,
sweater and khakis, which just
Yeah.
floors me.
but you put an ordinary rock song in front of him and he can't keep time. He can't do it. You know.
Right. But I mean, McCarroll's a good drummer. I mean, all crap aside, McCarroll was a good drummer. He just wasn't good for them.
He wasn't a good fit.
Right. No. But McCarroll's drumming, I can't. It's off in my brain. Like the whole song, it seems like it's like when you wake up and something's moved over like 1/8 of an inch to the right, and you know that it's been moved, and that's not what it looked like when you went to bed.
So what you're saying is it's kind of like he's like half a beat ahead of everyone or half a beat behind everyone.
Something, yes, but not in an awesome way like Dave Grohl was in Nevermind.
No.
You know, like not in a super intentional, it's going to make the song better kind of way.
This is more of a kind of a sound engineer era kind of way.
I take it where there's a story involved.
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm asking because I think his drumming's brilliant in this one.
The drumming itself is okay. Like if you just listen to the drumming track by itself, it's an okay track.
Like that middle piece
It's just it makes my brain twitch. Like there's something. I can't put my finger on it. There's just something. It's just a tinge.
Just a tinge.
But it's enough to where it makes my teeth itch.
I'm gonna have to listen to it now and see what you're talking about.
With your headphones on. Don't do that to me, please. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
As the kids say, on God, on God. Respectfully.
God. How will disrespectfully do it?
Will you now?
But no, I mean, that's the thing. Tony McCarroll was good at doing these kind of songs,
Yes.
and you know, that's kind of. I think Alan White could have pulled it off.
Actually, I think he probably could have. It would have been a tighter beat, and my brain wouldn't be going wee wee.
This song's a messy song, though. It's supposed to be messy.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's about an ex-girlfriend who wouldn't go.
Yeah.
To therapy, and who's a crazy and stalker. Now, when Liam Gallagher is talking about somebody being crazy stalker,
That's. Yeah.
that you know how bad that is.
Yeah, kids. When you get you know you done messed up.
But I mean, it was a change of pace.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
It was. Last, but certainly not least, is
The title track.
Yes, and it's the best out of all of them.
Oh yeah, head and shoulders.
And I love a lot of these others, but
Well, when you have the best work of the songwriter of all time stashed away as a random track on a B-side to Wonderwall, you know, you're going to have that. Wonderwall, okay, look, Wonderwall's overhyped, overplayed, blah, 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 but it's a good song, right? This song is better. Miles ahead of it.
yeah,
Miles ahead of it. It's got vibes of Don't Look Back in Anger. It's got vibes of Live Forever. Again, it's just... He considers his final work, and the arrangement too. The arrangement, oh my god!
and I hadn't heard this song until
Unplugged.
Yeah, Unplugged was like a musical awakening for me. So,
But that the way that he played it in Unplugged was not that far off the album. Even though the album had more electric guitar elements, just very, very build up. You know, it starts off quiet and then builds up to a crescendo. You know. I mean, it's got a backwards guitar solo on it, Sarah.
Yes.
A backwards guitar solo.
it's a brilliant song. It really is.
It is a brilliant song. I mean, this should have been held off. The record label should put their foot down. The first time they heard this song, they would have gone, no, this goes on the album or you wait for the next album. But you're not throwing the song away.
Yeah, but Noel, it's like Noel said, he doesn't write poop songs.
Well, he doesn't, but this is...
Or at least he didn't at the time.
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, he doesn't write bad songs now. He just writes different songs now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was a staple of the 1995 tour, especially when they toured with an orchestra with them.
Yes.
You know, and Liam turned this song down. He didn't want to sing it.
His loss.
He regrets it.
He couldn't have. I don't see a version of this song that Liam could have done it justice. I don't.
Well, after hearing the Step Out and the Don't Look Back in Anger performance that he did at Glastonbury a few years ago, I disagree. I think he could have pulled it off. He just didn't want to sing it at the time. He wanted to give he's like, as a B-side, okay, you can sing it.
It was beneath him.
It was beneath him doing the B-side.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what he said. You know, when he was too good to be a B-side, he said, I don't write shit songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the master plan there was no master plan except to write good songs. Oh yeah, and to be the biggest band in the world. A modest ambition, but it put Oasis in the road to greatness, said Paul DeNoyer and the master plan sleeve notes.
Yes.
I mean, you close off your best album with your best song.
That's how you do it.
That's the master plan.
How you do it. Yes.
This is how we do it. So what do you think?
I give this album a solid 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, easy.
Yes. The only thing that would be better is if Angel Child was on there. But Angel Child hadn't been written yet, had it?
No.
Okay. Well then...
No, it had been. It had been.
Say, yeah, it had been. But the only way it would have been better for me, because I like all of the... you could give me an album of Noel acoustic demos and B-sides, and I'd be happy. I love Liam, don't get me wrong. I do. But I like the demo-y, acoustic-y stuff better.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, this is the thing, right? If Noel Gallagher held off... If this was Be Here Now, right, this was the third album, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about how Oasis didn't crack America.
Right.
They would have blown America apart if this had been a full-on album.
Maybe.
Given the chance.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have had the third album syndrome that Be Here Now kind of killed their momentum.
Right.
You know, they would have been heralded as possibly the greatest band that ever came out of Britain. And I'm not using that as hyperbole. If this was Be Here Now, if this was the third album they released in Britain, they would have been called the biggest band, the best band ever to come out of Britain of all time. And I'm including the Beatles in that one.
Right.
Because they were already getting some of that comparison just after two albums.
Yeah.
You throw this one in there as a third album, bang, you know.
Yeah.
Flow is perfect.
I concur.
I mean, but in my opinion, just like you... Oh, that's pedaling. But my opinion, just like you, is that certain songs should have been on there and certain songs shouldn't have been on there. It's Better People, Round Our Way, Do You Want to Be a Spaceman, Cloudburst, and the cover of the Slade song, Come On Feel the Noise.
Yes.
The Slade song. Because who the fuck a Quiet Riot? That's one thing I will die on a hill of.
I know, honey. I know.
But the only other thing too is that vinyl songs weren't included in here either, like the sad song, the Bonus Bank Holidays, and the whatevers.
Yeah, that sucks.
But they kind of knew that these songs would have been B-sides because it just seems like the pressure was off.
Right.
In recording them. Like, he had his track listing for what the album was going to be. Here are the other songs that we're recording.
Right.
Let's have a little bit of fun with them.
Right.
You know. So, what happened next? Well, this is the last of the 90s that we're going to talk about Oasis. There's no more 90s Oasis stuff to talk about. We've done their 4 albums. We've ranked all 50 songs they released in the 90s. So, what happened next? Well, in 1999, original members Bono and Guigsy walked out on the band. Some say they walked out, some say they were fired, some say it was a hybrid.
You know how weird stuff sticks in your mind?
Go ahead.
I was reading a thing. It was either Enemy or Q when this happened and when they left. And there was a... Noel was talking about how... Because they had been getting ready to record Sotsog, or they were in the middle of recording Sotsog. And Bonehead and Guigsy bounced. And Noel had made a quote that he and Liam... and to an extent Alan, were left holding a sandwich. Yeah. Right? And so there was a picture of Liam and Noel just talking in the studio. And then the caption, I will remember this to this day, was, Noel and Liam discussing something other, and I think they were at Abbey Road. Yeah, I think so.
No, they were friends.
Wherever they were. And it said, in parentheses, it said, Sarney, not included.
Well,
Sorry.
Bonehead and Noel were fighting over a French engineer. Bonehead went in there drunk one night and poured wine all over this guy's head. So Noel did that the next night to Bonehead, said, how do you like it? They argued, and Bonehead said, this, I'm out. And Noel said, fine, I'll call you a taxi. And apparently they've not spoken since.
They have now.
I doubt it.
No, they talked for the Live Forever documentary.
No, he was on the Live Forever documentary, but Noel and Bonehead I don't think have spoken since.
Yes, they have.
I'd like to think so, but Liam and Bonehead are like that. Tight. But Gwigsy then left because not only was he closest to Bonehead out of everybody in the band, but he had enough.
Oh yeah, he was having some issues. He was having some
He was never comfortable in the spotlight. When they did the 10th anniversary of Definitely Maybe DVD, he sent in a letter saying, I'm not going on camera, but if you need me for anything else, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Pair replaced by Game Archer and Andy Bell, who would contribute to songs as the band returned to their, to their because look, I know you like it, but Sotsog and Heathen Chemistry were rather overproduced or boring.
I like Sotsog. I like the Sotsog demos better.
Yeah, Heathen Chemistry, however, was boring.
Yeah, I got you.
The final two albums seen as return to form with Don't Believe the Truth considered their third best album, the best since '95. The band would continue to make great B-sides. Let's All Make Believe is an example of one of those. Probably the best song outside of the Masterplan B-sides that they ever did. In 2009, the band split up for good. Yep. Which, that August 28th will always be a day that will live in my memory. It was the day I got to America in 2004. It was the 8-2 Arsenal Man United in 2011. And in 2009, it was the day Oasis split up.
Yes. Yes.
Liam has now released 3 albums, critically acclaimed. Noel has released 3 albums. 2 of them are critically acclaimed. One of them was... which is weird because, you know what? Everybody was saying they need to try something different, so he tries something different. Now the review is...
Okay, there's try something different, and then there's write a song that has space for a woman playing the freaking scissors, John.
Can I get more scissors in my monitor?
No, and as far as Liam goes, I think my favorite quote on all that is on your Christmas gift. I got John this mug of amazing Liam Gallagher tweets. And one of the tweets is
it after album number 3 I would have split up with myself? No.
It's a 2-parter. It has to do about never releasing a solo album.
Yeah. I'll bleep this. He said only release solo albums, and then a couple of years later, well, it's official. I'm a now.
I was highly amused.
I thought that was funny. Talking to Bonehead, he joined Liam's band. So
briefly, yes.
When
the kids were grown at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Bonehead really missed his kid.
Yeah.
Really.
So, when Oasis split up, Noel left. Oasis became BDI. Then when BDI split up, 2 members of BDI joined Noel's band.
Yes.
Liam gets Bonehead back. What happened to Alan White? Well, he was fired for allegedly, so I don't get sued, leaking the Sotsog demos to the press.
Yes.
Which, that's what people say they reviewed the album from. They didn't wait for the full LP to be released.
Right.
They reviewed it from the demos.
But the demos came out like a year and a half before the album.
Doesn't matter. Once the music press had given the demos.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, they lost so much money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he cost Noel an extra house.
Oh yeah. That leak cost them at least 1 million downloads, 1 million downloads, 1 million sales. At least, because once the reviews got a hold of it, Shangri-La. Gwigsy stayed out of the spotlight, and Tony McCarroll would continue being a drummer throughout.
Yes.
So my question is, okay, Oasis ended their career with 75 million albums sold worldwide, and for a 3-year period were the biggest band in the world. They deserve something like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
but they'll never get into it because they didn't crack America.
Yeah, they will.
They won't.
Yeah, they will.
I doubt it. On the strength of Wonderwall alone, I doubt it.
No, they will.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think they get nominated. Never mind put into it.
I think they will.
Well, they deserve to be put in there.
Yes, they do. So. But it won't be for about another 5 years. But it'll happen.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. In 5 years' time, we'll fire up the equipment.
2026.
2026. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for coming on. It's been appreciative, as always.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your wonderful anecdotes.
You know it.
And if he tells me I'm rude one more time, I'm going to slap him.
Yes.
Sarah will be back next week. I'll be back here in a couple of minutes. Everybody take it easy. See you soon.
Bye.
Alright everybody, we just got a couple more moments here before we go ahead and head out. I want to thank Sarah sincerely for her taking the time out of her busy schedule, which is very, very busy, to come in and talk to us about this. Sarah is going to be taking more time out of her busy schedule next week. She's going to be joining us as we talk about one of the greatest TV shows of all time, Quantum Leap. Yes, and I know what some people are thinking. This was made in the 80s. No, it started in 89, like June of 89, so I'm letting this one slide in to be part of the 90s. Plus, most of the episodes were in the 90s, so I'm counting this one, you know. So that's the hard thing about doing TV. We did The Simpsons. The Simpsons is still playing right now, so could that be classed as a 90s show? See? All up for debate. Now, if you like video games, if you like our 90s gamer series, go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. That's where we're having a brand new playthrough on March 1st. Tuesday, March 1st, it's going to be the first episode of Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've already recorded some of the episodes and got them all ready to go. So, yeah, I'm enjoying myself. It's a good game. It's perfectly paced for a 90s walkthrough. Let's put it that way. And talking to video games, I apologize for skipping out as quickly as I did yesterday on the Super Mario stream. I had some personal business that came up and that I had to attend to straight away, and so there was no point in me spending the 30 minutes attending to it then coming back. So Dead Streamer is on hold until March 12th. I'll have a new game playing then. Stick around for more details. Where can you find the details? Well, you can check them at becausemaybepodcast.com. That's where you find all of our archive. Okay, every single episode of every single show we've ever done, is there. Go ahead and check out Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our pages will give you the latest news on what's happening in the Because of Me network and what's happening in general if you like that kind of thing. And of course, if you listen to this podcast on something that's not your regular podcast network, go ahead and check us out. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, Pandora, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, and Podbean, okay? That's where you'll find every single thing. We've got this podcast, we've got the extra podcast, which tells you what's going on with this podcast and what's going on with the network in general, and the Right Here Right Now podcast, which a new episode is coming down the line very, very soon, okay? And that really is it. So, you know, as I say every week, go ahead and get vaccinated, wear a mask, listen to the experts. They know what they're talking about. You wouldn't listen to your uncle on how to fix a car, so don't listen to him on medical advice. Go ahead and stay warm, because it's cold where I'm at, and I don't know, I'm just rambling now, but that's okay. I ramble anyway on these things. So everybody take it easy, and we'll see you next week. Bye.